everybody, it's Femtrooper, and today I'm going to be discussing Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. So, as somebody who was really into Fire Emblem Awakening, it was my first Fire Emblem game. I was so excited because it was actually accessible to newcomers to the series, blah blah blah. So this was really exciting. I was so excited for this to come out. And what's more exciting is the fact that there was like two parts. They almost Pokemonized it, if that's a word. This game has two parts. There are three, but two parts physical. There's Fire Emblem Fates Birthright, where you kind of take the good side, and then there's Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, where you take the bad side, and then there's Revelations, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it's kind of like you don't take either side, and that's a download-only thing. You can get it in the collector's edition, but if you just want to buy them, you can get each of these separate, and I have to say, I really did enjoy this. So let's get right into the review. So basically in Birthright, in this one, you play as male or female character, just as you would in Conquest, but you believe you've been raised by Nor, which is the stereotypical bad side, it's the dark side. And then you actually find out that your birth family is actually sort of the opposing, royal family, opposing country, and that's Hoshido. And they're sort of the good guys. And now you have to choose between sort of your birth family, who's maybe less sketchy and actually seems to be doing a lot of good, and your sort of adopted family who's raised you and who you thought was your family the whole time, but the king over there he's pretty shady. He kind of, is King Garen, and it's like, it totally reminds me of King, Ganon, Ganondorf, so I don't know if that was what they were going for there, but anyway, so you have to choose which side. So if you get Birthright, you end up choosing the good side. So you end up sticking with your birth family and saying, yeah, my adopted family is being pretty shady, so I'm going to actually take the good side. If you choose Conquest, you end up choosing your adopted family side and sticking with them, and the game progresses. The first few chapters are, the same, and then once you choose, the true Birthright storyline goes, and then the true Conquest storyline goes on. So you basically choose which side you want. Birthright, the game I got, is the easier game. This is for the sort of more plays like Fire Emblem Awakening. It's more accessible to people who aren't really that experienced with strategy RPGs. It's just in general a lot more tame, as opposed to Conquest is the harder game. So you can choose whatever you want. Both sides you can, it allows difficulty levels, but I guess the easy mode in Conquest is still way harder than it would be in Birthright. One thing I found about the story is that although it was sort of average at best, the very beginning was very interesting. I was really interested to see what was going on with my character, the main character, and the ending was really good and really exciting, but the middle was just, it was just kind of average. So that was really frustrating because you were really excited at the start and you're really excited at the end, but then you find yourself in the middle kind of just doing missions to do missions, and it was sort of just, I wanted something to happen, and sometimes it did, but in general it was kind of just, I will say that I did care about the characters way more in Fire Emblem Awakening. I was more invested in actually understanding who is who and getting to know people, blah blah blah. And in this game, I sort of didn't care. At the end, I will be honest, I was just mashing buttons to get through text because it was getting so boring. I didn't miss story, but there's areas where you can actually, where the support, you can talk to each other and you gain skills and stuff, and it was just really boring. I was this is not that exciting. I don't care. Let's get into the graphics, and the graphics were really good. They looked just like, the last installment, Awakening, really good. The cutscenes were really polished, really beautiful, really gorgeous. I really like the art style in these games. Sort of doesn't disappoint, just really good stuff. Overall, I would say the graphics in this game are really solid. The actual gameplay where you're actually on the map, they're very 16-bit-esque, but it's done for a reason, and it actually does look quite nice. So I do give this game, 2 thumbs up for it just looking overall very nice. Music-wise, this game is actually really good. I really enjoyed the soundtrack. There are some tracks that are kind of boring, but in general, the soundtrack is really nice. Some songs are really good, and I will say that the final I won't say, well, it is kind of final boss music, but sort of the last couple tracks of the game were really intense. And I was just like, wow. There was one sort of evil theme, kind of had a very, like the villain theme, and it was like, it was an amazing villain theme. I was so impressed. So I really enjoyed the music for this. A lot of it sticks in your head. A lot of similar tracks and same tracks from Awakening. Just, it was really good. I really enjoyed the music, very orchestral. Just overall, the music is very excellent. And again, 2 thumbs up. Let's talk about the most important thing here, and that's gameplay. It's a strategy RPG. Not necessarily the most important, because I will say that story and music can make a game for me, and the gameplay can be eh. But the gameplay in these games are really good, and they make up for sometimes the lackluster story. So that's the good thing. I usually take story over gameplay, but in these games, I really do like the gameplay. It's really awesome, and the fact that they make it so accessible to everybody is just really nice, because I'm not an expert strategy RPG person. I really am not that good at them. But I enjoy sort of the feel and everything about it. So it's nice that I can play it on easy and not with permadeath on and all that stuff. Just because it just allows me to kind of get into it. And, maybe one day I will play it on a harder level. But for now, I don't care. I just actually really like playing this style of games. So it's really nice that I get the opportunity to play on my comfort level and whatever. And somebody else who is really intense can play on expert and have permadeath on and all that good stuff. But yeah, strategy RPGs are really addicting, so I'm excited to get into more of them. I thought I would play more of them ever since playing Awakening, and I haven't. So I do have a few more on the shelf, so I need to do that. It's definitely something I want to do. In terms of this game, they did add a few new things, because the whole thing is to do with being in a royal family and all that stuff. They had a thing called a Dragon's Vein that they place them on the map, and the only people who can use them are people in the royal family. So it can vary from all sorts of things to changing the way the map is, to causing damage to enemies. Basically, it'll be one of the squares on the map. If one of the people who lands on it is part of the royal family, you can choose to activate the Dragon's Vein because you have ancient dragon power and stuff. So you can use that to affect the map. But I thought that was kind of a neat add-in. One thing that I think a lot of people liked, but I was like kind of on the fence about, is the new castle mode. So basically, in between maps in the story, you have your own castle. It's kind of, you go back to your own retreat, get stuff going, and then you can go back out. I know I haven't played ActRaiser, but it made me think of ActRaiser in the sense that you have to, it's almost like you're building the way things look. Like, you can add shops, you can add statues, you can add an arena. There's all these different things you can add, and you can choose where to place them, so it's very like a kind of build as you go kind of thing. I really don't get into that kind of stuff, and I just didn't care. It was just very meh for me. So if you like that, that's awesome, and I'm happy, but it was just not really my thing. I kind of just wanted a weapon shop to be there, and I don't know, I was just not feeling it. So yeah, that part was not awesome for me, but what can you do? Overall, I think this game was actually very excellent. It was a really good game. I just wish the story was just a little bit better in the middle, because it started off so cool and you're like, it's kind of neat, and then at the end you were generally satisfied. I was excited, but then in the middle I was like, okay, I'm excited, but now I just feel like I'm playing maps to play maps. So I wish that could have been a little better, but overall it was a really good game, and the fact that they took the time to have 2 versions of this is really exciting, because I feel like I'm good. I want to take a stab at Conquest. I'm a little scared because I know it's way harder, and I really suck. I seriously blow at these. So on easy, it's nice and comfortable, and it's fun because it gives me a chance to play the game when I normally wouldn't have played these. So that's, and you all know my 2 cents on difficulty level. I do like them, obviously. So really good. I really recommend this. If you like Fire Emblem Awakening, you'll really like this, and if you liked Fire Emblem Awakening and how it was very accessible to newcomers, you'll want this version. If you already know Fire Emblem and you've seen it before and you want more of a challenge, get Conquest, or get both. Just get both and play both. I know so many people who've been getting, the collector's edition or just buying both. and then just playing through them and comparing. So we'll see if I'll end up doing Conquest. I don't know, but I really did like Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. I'm excited. I'm so glad that this is doing well because it's introduced me to something new, and I'm excited for the next Fire Emblem installment, especially on handheld. I really like it on handheld. I know a lot of people want it on the Wii U and stuff like that, but I honestly just like it on handheld. It's just way nicer to me. So those are my thoughts on Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. I really recommend it. I thought it was awesome. But that's all for today. I'll see you guys later, but please comment, like, and subscribe. See ya!